And is it going to, I mean, are they backed into a corner now? Is it getting to a point where they just can't keep printing to save it? And is that what we're seeing, all of these little cracks in the system from inflation to these hikes? And I mean, QE was working for a couple of years. Is this the beginning of the end of that system being able to keep printing to save us?
Well, there's people much smarter than me who say that. I've been saying that for years, but I was the whack job, or the Chicken Little on the outside, some whack job without I don't have a degree in finance. You know what my degree is in?
What?
Oil. So I went to U.S. Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point, New York, and this is in 65 to 69, and I studied oil. So when Biden, as soon as that communist, you guys have this guy here, Boris,
Yeah.
Boris Johnson. Well, we have Boris Biden. It can't get right. It can't get much worse than this.
Yeah. What's your take on President Biden?
He's a communist. I mean, in 1965, I read this book here. So I go to military school. Most of I think 100% of my teachers were men, not women. And there's a very big difference on the way men teach men and women teach men. And so one of the things going on today, this is off the subject, but socioeconomically, more men are raised by single moms today. And the reason for that is back when in history, if you are a mom with a kid and you had a husband that wasn't making it, it was better for you to divorce him so the government would take care of you. So what happened back in the 50s and 60s was that the government became the parent because it supported the mothers to take care of the kids. So we have a whole generation of fat boys coming up. Just recently, it was all over the news in America, the US Army cannot find men, soldiers. 1 out of 4 18-year-olds cannot qualify to meet the Army's needs. 1 out of 4 teenage boys are too fat and huggy. They can't make the physical. And that's why I meet young women who say there's no men. I said, well, they're still around, but they're kind of boys yet. But our academics are taught by women. So one of the benefits or bad results is I go to military school, I'm getting yelled at, screamed at. They're all men teaching boys. I'm 18 years old, and my economics teacher, instead of having me read, Adam Smith and Malthus and Keynes and Ricardo, he had me study Marx, Hitler, Mao, and all this, because in military school, the motto is know your enemy. And so I studied Marxism in 1965. And this book is only like 50 pages. It's one of the most powerful books ever written. But the trouble is most school teachers haven't read the book. That they don't know they're Marxists. They're not bad people, please hear me. You call somebody a commie, that's not the best thing to do. But economics, as you know, Brian, is kind of a philosophy. So it's like Christianity is different than Buddhism or Hinduism or Muslim. So economics is kind of a economic religion, to keep it simple.
Yeah.
So when you read Marx, most academics, like my poor dad, who was a PhD from Stanford University, was a Marxist, but they don't know it. They're not bad people. They're not bad people, but without financial education, they got no choice. They believe in labor unions. They believe in the tax the rich. They believe the abolition of private property. That's all Marx. If you read this book here, it's in here. So that was in 1965. I'm an 8-year-old kid getting yelled at and screamed at military school in New York. And in 67, I hitchhiked from New York to Montreal, Canada to see Bucky Fuller's geodesic dome, the U.S. Pavilion, the World's Fair. And now I'm confused, Brian. Do you know what I mean? I have, my poor dad was an advocate of Bucky Fuller, and my rich dad was a capitalist. So I'm trapped between two worlds, and that's why I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
And you've recently written the Capitalist Manifesto. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged I was held accountable and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.
Yeah, I should have a copy of it around here somewhere, but I wrote the Capitalist Manifesto in response to the Communist Manifesto. And actually, I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad in response to the Communist Manifesto, answering the question, why don't we teach money at school? It's not a mistake, Brian. It's not a mistake. Because what Marx predicted has come to us, 1848. Okay? He said communism would take over America specifically, or the capitalist world, in 2 stages. So stage 1 happened in 1930. In 1930, the Frankfurt School out of Berlin sent teachers to Columbia University Teachers College. That was in 1930. So communism invaded America through our teacher system. And that's why most teachers are Marxists, like my poor dad. Not bad people,
Right.
They think they're doing the right thing,
Right.
but they don't know how to make money. They want a pension, they want all the benefits and all that other stuff. They belong to labor unions. And what Marx says was, workers of the world unite, join a labor union. So my poor dad, well, my rich dad was anti-labor, and my poor dad was the head of the teachers union. So again, that's why I'm screwed up, Brian.
But you know both sides so well, Robert, and that's why you can kind of explain both of them. And
Yeah, they're not bad people.
yeah, but they're just maybe confused, or they've never lived in the world of business. They lived in academia, but these people are teaching our children. And Robert, we've seen this come out into the open in the last couple of years, where you got kids on the street saying, let's be communists, let's be socialists, who are being egged on by this academic institutions and the woke and the technology platforms. They don't really know what's going on. They probably never had a job before. Like you said, they want to take away property. They want to do all these things. And you're really seeing these collide. And that's why I love having you on the show, Robert, because we're not talking about money. We're talking about life. Like, this is how humans interact with each other. And the economic system is a little bit like a religion, a belief system. And
Yes.
you have to...
I just call it economic religion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So capitalism is a religion, and Marxism is a religion. So is fascism. So is all those things. So when you can get it from that perspective, you have more options to choose which one you like. But the biggest problem today, again, is we have no financial education in our schools. But this is what's worse. I'm in New York City, 65 to 69, studying oil. I drove tankers for Standard Oil. I invest in oil wells today. I don't investigate in oil stocks. I want the real stuff. The Fed cannot print oil, Brian. You know that.
Not yet.
So what happened, by digressing, so when Biden took the Keystone Pipeline XL, whatever it is, off the list, oil went from $30 a barrel to $130 a barrel in a few days. So in other words, inflation went through the roof. It wiped out the middle class and the poor. But a guy like me who invests in oil wells, not oil stocks, I made so much money, because when the price of oil went up to 130 today, I think it's 105. I'm creaming it right now. Unfortunately, it's killing the poor and middle class, because they can't put gas in the car, they can't buy groceries, and then they can't afford to shop. So I see all the clothes on sale everywhere and all this. And that's what's predicted in here. That's how I see the world from very economic point of view, but real economics.